My name is Vinita Sivamani, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Dermveda. Our mission at Dermveda is to improve health from the skin side out. So our primary vehicle for change is education. We're making scientific research accessible to the general public. We're also blending alternative and allopathic medicine, and we're creating a really committed community of practitioners. So our company was actually founded by passionate practitioners who understand how difficult it is to find credible, trustworthy, holistic health information. And we're fortunate to have some of the field's leaders in dermatology and aesthetics on our board who have been pioneers to guide us. We have spent years carefully building a team of experts in medicine, cosmetics, and aesthetics, and they write, vet, and review all of our content. We focus on 4 primary disciplines: naturopathy, Chinese medicine, Ayurveda Indian medicine, and dermatology. We also have an amazing ops team, and we're growing. So our vision is to be the go-to personalized integrative skincare resource for patients and practitioners. So why do we focus on skin? Well, according to the Mayo Clinic, skin is the #1 driver of doctors' visits. Over cancer, over diabetes, over heart disease, skin. And as somebody who struggled with acne growing up, I understand how challenging it can be to find affordable, effective, and safe remedies. And it turns out it's not just me. According to the American Academy of Dermatology, about 50 million Americans annually suffer from acne. And it's not just acne. Skin affects us all. About 1/3 of the US population is afflicted with a skin disorder. Many others are concerned about beauty and cosmetics, what are the ingredients in their products, or maybe just how to live healthfully to avoid the acceleration of aging. We also see that there's a huge trend towards complementary and alternative medicine, which is why we focus on integrative medicine. And there's a growing trend with US adults who turn to the internet as their primary source of health information, using the internet as their diagnostic tool, and yet there are very few resources available. We see this trend continuing in the consumer behavior as well. So natural skincare products alone are outpacing the entire market, and even when alternative remedies are not covered by insurance, Americans spend billions out of pocket for alternative and complementary visits as well as products. So where do people turn to navigate these choices and to really be able to help identify the best solutions for them? Well, that's where we come in. So our in-depth, focused, customized resource enables people to find really targeted, relevant answers for their skincare needs. Here's how it works. We offer a few free tools because we want to help as many people as we can. So our first is our symptom educator. So if you go on our website, you can actually describe the skin concern that you're experiencing and find possible causes. So while we don't diagnose, we do match to related content to help you figure out the next best course of action. We also have a skin type tool, so you can be paired with a really short, quick quiz to one of our 13 skin types. And then from there, all of our content can be matched to your skin type or your family members. And then our third and most recent addition is our ingredient guide and our product platform. So this, and what we've done here is actually analyze tens of thousands of ingredients, and we have an objective rating system where we can now actually match products to your skin needs and preferences. So you don't have to scour hours of time in the store trying to find products or looking online to read all the descriptions. We now help actually help you learn and understand the ingredients in their products and how they really pair to you. So we do this through 2 primary channels. The first is Dermveda, and dermveda.com is our health resource directory. We cover 144 skin diseases. We also have a beauty blog, Skinagrative, and that is more for your everyday tips and tricks for skincare. Who are we targeting? LOHASs, lifestyles of health and sustainability. They account for about 63 million people in the country, and most of them are women, so we do actually target women, although we have found that dermveda.com actually has about a 50% male readership, which to us, our beauty blog Skinagrative does skew towards women, but our large male following actually underscores to us how integral skin is to us all. It is the largest organ in the body after all. So although we're an early startup, we're growing quickly. We've had over 45,000 article reads since we launched in June. We have dozens of contributing authors. They're all medical experts or estheticians or cosmetologists who are all vetted by our team. We have a steady social media following, and 3 months ago we established our Sacramento headquarters. We've also had the chance to partner with many of the industry experts. So we work with associations and schools so that we can really help support practitioners in the industry. So over the next 5 years, we plan to build some additional modules. So first and foremost, currently we're working on completing our primary content and finalizing our tools. They're currently in beta. Then our next phase will actually be to work on resources and continuing medical education for practitioners, which will end up being our primary revenue source. And then, once all that's been established, we do plan to scale internationally. And we're doing this so that one day, ultimately, our hope is that people will have the ability to be able to make really informed decisions about their health from the inside out. So through our tools and our content that's personalized, we want to drive really deep user engagement. We also want to provide a resource platform that's comprehensive so people can get answers to all of their skincare needs. And we want to turn people into their own advocates, really empower people to make the best decisions for their health, whether it's for them or for their patients' health. And we believe this starts with education, bridging the gap between patients and practitioners so that they have a common resource platform that's integrative and personalized. Thank you.
So as always, we start the Q&A by asking, how can we help you?
We might have come prepared.
Good.
We need a lot of help. So here's a number of ways that you can help us. So firstly, if you're a LOHAS or know somebody that is or just has any interest in skin, we hope that you'll connect us. So we would love for you to follow us on social media. We would love for you to create a profile on our website. That would actually be the biggest thing if you could all do that before you leave today. It's a very short quiz. It's 3 questions. You upload a photo. It's optional. And then from there, you actually get matched to skin type and content that matches your profile. And then if you don't mind, once you create your profile and it's saved, you'll see a tab to review products. So right now, our first partnership was with the Co-op, so we have all their skincare products in our directory. But you can go out and see and find products that match your skin type. But we really would love feedback. We're testing this, so that would help us greatly. Use our tools. And then of course, we're ready to start growing. We plan to finish actually downloading all the rest of our ingredients and being up and running by April 1. So that's when it's going to be our major PR launch. But in the meantime, if you know anybody or could share our story, we would love it. And then we're accepting interns or feedback or innovative ideas or guest authors. So our email is info@dermveda.com. Yeah.
Anita, what's a LOHAS?
Oh, okay, so LOHAS stands for Lifestyles of Health and Sustainability. So think about your yoga lover, whole food shopper. So it's generally people who have an interest in sustainable natural health care. But really, we're pretty open. We cover all 4 disciplines. But we do it so that if you have an interest just in Western medicine, you can focus on that. Just Eastern medicine, you can focus on that. If you want an integrative approach, we offer it all. So we're pretty broad.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Hey, Anita. You mentioned that your primary revenue source is going to be CMEs.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the size of that market and
Sure.
what people spend on CMEs in dermatology generally?
Okay, sure. Yeah, so this is, 6 minutes is really short. I was like running, so I did add a few. This is our normal deck has a lot more. Okay, so basically, the size of,
Sorry, you're controlling that screen.
Oh,
I'm trying to
got it. Okay, so this is the size of the market. So on the consumer side, if we look just at women who spend, the national average is about $215 on beauty products per year. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry right there. Then on the practitioner side, we are targeting everyone from estheticians all the way up to alternative practitioners, all the way up to family practice physicians. There's actually a huge need for that because they're often the front line and receive a lot of derm cases. And then even up to dermatologists. So that revenue market, we see about 270,000 in the alternative and as well as primary medical space. There's about 900,000 salons and spas. So in total, right now, continuing medical education is almost a $3 billion industry. So that's where we really think we can tap. So in terms of our main sources of revenue, we actually have several. We really want to be diverse and multi-pronged. So for the first few that we're starting on right now is people can do ads and sponsored content. They can, we have an affiliate program on our beauty blog. So if you buy products, we get a share of the revenue. And then we also have continuing medical education. We're just launching that actually at the end of this year. Eventually we'll have a practitioner portal, so on and so forth. But yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good question. Yeah.
Is there any sort of direct competition that you have right now?
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is really. I swear that it wasn't planted. Did I put it in here? We have a competition flag. Oh yeah, here. Okay, so in terms of what we offer, we're actually first to market, believe it or not, in terms of really focused skincare information that's also personalized. So not only do we go really deep into skin, but we also have the ability through our tech platform to really personalize all of the content and the information. So we're kind of in our own little blue ocean space. Dermveda NZ is in New Zealand. They do have a whole website dedicated to skin. They're very much focused on the disease aspect. We cover skin in its entirety. So from diseases to beauty to aesthetics. So we are pretty targeted in what we do. Believe it or not, from what we've seen, we're currently the only team in the world that has experts in each domain truly collaborate. So all of our content that everybody writes is vetted and reviewed by a dermatologist before it goes out the door. But to be able to find experts who are willing to spend months on every little piece of content is unique, which is why we've been able to kind of carve out a little niche for ourselves. Yeah.
So as you go along, when somebody goes to your website
Yeah.
and fills out a profile, what their interests are, or their pain points, will you eventually have automation to send people specific information
Yes.
just on that to
Totally.
them, and maybe like new products that you can then charge? You
Yes.
know?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. We actually never plan to create our own product. We're more of a consumer reports than we are a product. We're not a product company. But what we can do and what we want to
Somebody
eventually
else's
add.
product is what I was saying.
Oh yeah, sorry, yes, other products, yeah,
Okay.
totally. Yeah, and we're going to eventually build out an app. I'm looking at David, he's our tech guru. We do plan to eventually build out an app so that we can do things like push-through notifications. Like if you're going to be traveling to Denver next week, it's really extra dry there, so if you have eczema, we'll give you a little alert to say, hey, don't forget your extra strong lotion or whatever. So things like that, where we can kind of be like a derm in your pocket, where we can help find really relevant content, if there's new products, activities going on where you could use additional skincare support, all of that.
And our skin type profiler is the kind of the short quiz that Benita was talking about, and it kind of asks a lot of questions that help us give you personalized content. So the minute that you take that quiz, the website starts to change, and what you start to see is more personalized to you right from the get-go.
A dashboard created for you?
Yes, we're working on a more intuitive dashboard, but we have personalized content that's badged with your skin type dial to show that this is good for you, your skin type, and it's going to keep going. So that's kind of our main focus, is that once you decide your skin type, we can do a lot more for you.
Go ahead.
I can wait, go ahead.
Okay. I love the detail you guys have put into the PowerPoint. It really helps kind of bring the picture together. Because obviously, like dermatology and just skin in general, there's a lot of people competing in that market.
Sure.
So I get it's kind of like speed dating but for skin. You're trying to find like
Sure, yeah,
the
I like
right
that.
product, the right whatever. Right. That's the visual that I'm getting in my head anyway. But one of the questions I have was the revenue model. I think you touched base on it. So right now it sounds like it's more content. You want to create information, inform the user about their skin or disease or whatever it is.
Yep.
And so you're making money off of ad placements, and is that it? Or are you eventually trying to go down the line, and I think this is where you're going, working with products, maybe it's Proactive or whoever, and say, hey, we have space on our website because we get X amount of people
Yep.
to our site that are looking for information about their skin.
Yep.
This is a place where you need to advertise. Like,
Yeah,
are you eventually going into that?
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
So we do that. So essentially it's a numbers game. We are still growing our traffic.
Right.
So we're really focused right now on curating the largest resource library for skin. So we're just producing massive amounts of content. The next phase for us is to really start to focus on the user engagement and getting people to our platform. So right now on our product platform, we don't have sponsored placements, but eventually you'll be able to see if a product company wants to place their product up front. It'll be very clearly labeled, this was a sponsored placement, but that'll be, if it matches your skin type, it'll show up in that space if they become one of our sponsors. So that's one natural way to do advertising. We're pretty careful, so on Dermveda.com we actually don't allow very much advertising because it's very health focused, but on our beauty blog, that's where we get into beauty tutorials, we do a lot of product reviews, because people do want to learn about that, but we just kind of keep them a little distinct.
Definitely.
But, yeah.
Is there any link in the future towards, say someone needs more,
Yeah.
that they can link to a local practitioner
yes.
who supports
Yeah.
the blend of Western and Eastern?
Totally. So that's the biggest thing is, and what we share with practitioners is we're not competing with them, we're actually supporting them. So believe it or not, especially dermatologists, but practitioners in general, are very pressured for time. They don't have even, and nowadays less and less time with their patients. So a lot of people come in with sun protection questions or flares of something or other. Well, now they can actually send their patients to our website, and we have practitioners doing this currently. So we're even supporting them with the content. So what that actually allows us to do, we have a directory currently on our website, but we just pull from association directories. We haven't curated our own yet. We will, but we're waiting. There's so many other priority areas for people that there's a lot of good directories out there. We don't want to recreate the wheel. But eventually we want to do that, but the goal is to really partner with practitioners so they now have a resource for their patients. And then eventually on the flip end, we have such unique proprietary content that we're now starting to train practitioners. So when somebody walks in the door and says, hey, I want some nutritional approaches or acupuncture for my acne, do you cover that? Well, now they have a website and a team of experts who are actually now training in this area as well.
And just second part, you would always vet whatever products that you had on your site and any practitioner.
So that's what we haven't yet. That's a very interesting and unique question, and you probably know. There's a lot of directories where when somebody's licensed, they're licensed. So it's a very interesting space to then say that we're going to particularly vet practitioners. So right now we leave it as an open directory. It's there as they currently exist for the general public. We may move into that space, but it is a delicate area. But when it comes to products, what we actually do is we try to be objective. So we actually show you what's in those ingredients. So you can read about it and decide whether that chemical that's banned in Europe is something you want to use or whatever it may be. So we let you decide. We actually try not to, it's personalized based on your skin type or if you have allergies or preferences, but we try not to necessarily put our distinction on which we think are the best products. Maybe eventually a certification, people have started asking us about that. The EWG currently does it, so we think that's great, but that is maybe a possible area. Yeah, really good questions, yeah.
So I have a couple revenue questions.
Yeah.
One, are you making money now? And if not, have you raised funds or are you bootstrapped? And then just more of a suggestion than a question, really, but have you thought about doing like a subscription box service where you can provide samples to your users as a possible revenue stream?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We've kind of toyed around with it because we do have access to really cool natural skincare products and companies. So that is a possibility. There are a lot of companies who do it well. So right now we're kind of staying in the integrative medicine space. That's really our expertise. But no, we have not started generating significant revenue yet. We are fundraising, so that's our next big step.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.
So, a couple things. So I see you addressing the female demographic. I wouldn't underestimate the incognito.
Right.
The guys that steal their wife's products.
Right.
Not me. So it's kind of, but it's a larger segment than you'd think. They just don't like to talk about it because they feel it's emasculating.
Yeah.
But I think guys are as fearful of looking old as their clients.
Yeah.
And then our potential revenue model when you guys get to this is for you is a platform called Mind Body.
Yes.
So it is to your point in support of practitioners, you could then eventually help them book appointments and then get a share of revenue for that booking appointment.
Yeah.
So they use it with Orange Theory, all kinds of yoga studios and Pilates studios. They're very successful. There might be a good fit there.
Yeah.
And in terms of marketing, I think you guys should really go the inbound marketing right now, creating a lot of, since you're so content rich and focused, you've got tons of material. Just create ebooks, white papers, and start collecting names.
Yes.
And then then let the PR machine down the road take over.
Yeah. Download our first ebook. We just released one.
Nice, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if content's going to be essentially your king in terms of getting revenue, I guess my question is twofold. What outlets are you looking at right now to help syndicate that out?
Yeah.
And have you seen any successes there, or what is your next step to help, I think, increase that platform that says, hey, look, we got a ton of content, come read it. Where are you reaching to
Yeah,
bring people in?
our main channel so far has been partnerships. So what we're doing is we have social media, but we're not necessarily as primed to reach out to the general public. Instead what we're doing is we're really trying to partner with practitioners who then see thousands of patients. So we're going to associations where they're already members. So we have about 10% of the professional skincare industries already as our partners. So we do everything from writing content to their newsletters, doing webinars, speaking at their events. So that's been a really, really successful model so far. We're also lucky in that our team is very large and we have a lot of experts. So when they go speak, they naturally, go to a lot of large events. Eventually we want to get into TV, media, like all those blogging, magazine outlets. But they're a natural fit because they're experts already. So it's a really natural fit. So luckily we've been okay. That's our main avenue, and so far it's been
Okay, we've got time for one last question.
okay. Yeah.
This is pretty much from more of a consumer perspective, but
Yeah.
I love your logo, by the way.
Oh,
That's
thanks.
awesome. But I know you're not really going out to the general public, that's not what you're seeking. But I'm a daughter, my dad is from Japan, and my husband is from Tonga, a little island in the South Pacific. And so the homeopathic remedies are something that I live with on a regular basis and that I really like.
Yeah.
But one of the problems with the homeopathic remedies is sometimes you don't understand why it works.
Yes.
What's in it and why that's effective, how to create that remedy. And so I just wondered, are you going to that, like where you would do a tutorial on this is how you make this certain elixir for whatever. And because I think like for me, I go on Pinterest all the time and I would look for something that is something that I think would drive traffic for you and that a lot of people are very interested in.
Yeah. So YouTube probably will be our next biggest channel. We're just dabbling in that a little bit. We've been mostly text heavy and eventually infographics and things for Pinterest. But Dana, do you want to take that one? So she's actually in charge of our product strategy and marketing. That's a passion area for her. It's how do we actually make it really accessible and doable for anyone. So do you want to?
And I do think video is kind of our next market there. Quite a few of our practitioners, some of the estheticians, a handful of people we've worked with said that they're interested in doing video. They're getting feedback, some of our practitioners who write for Dermveda, to do more video because it's engaging and it kind of helps them connect with the audience. We have a few interns who are really interested in learning how to do infographics and might be working with a team who could do some of that for us. But we're trying to keep things very simple, especially on our beauty blog where it's more actionable daily kind of tips. Dermveda is a deeper dive into more of the skin health side of things, but Skin-turative kind of helps to keep things a little bit more high level and make it easily digestible. So hopefully that'll be a really good outlet for that going forward. But Dermveda is always going to have a really good, be a great science resource. So we have traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, naturopaths, Ayurvedic practitioners, and they're all kind of explaining the science and like the ancient wisdom behind some of these herbal remedies.
Because a lot of the stuff you think, oh, I dance under a full moon, wearing mud on my face. I mean, does that really work? Why doesn't it? And it's hard to kind of sort through the things that are junk and the things that really do.
Yeah.
We just wrote an article on that the other day. No, just kidding.
Most of our practitioners are also researchers, so you're totally hitting the head on the nail of what they're really passionate about, which is how do we find the science behind a lot of the diseases, the treatments, why they work, and that's what we share. So we take all the scientific research, but we write it more at like 8th grade kind of national reading level, so it's available.
All right, thank you.